I didn't think I'd have to go live almost immediately after finishing dinner. But that said, yesterday it broke that WWE 2009 class Hall of Famer Terry Funk passed away at the age of 79. He had been dealing with multiple ailments, dementia being key among them, which had him put in hospice care. But the second I get home and do my Mets tries on the Wendy's loaded nacho double bacon cheeseburger, one of my buddies on Twitch, the Grizzly Gang, Grizzly Kid 4, pops on and informs me that Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda, has passed away at the age of 36. On his birthday, no less. 3 months after his birthday, no less. What a load of horse shit. Anyway, let's just go over the facts about these two wrestlers. Both were second generation talents. The former, the son of the original Haas Funk, Dory Funk Sr., who throughout the 50s and from the 50s to the turn of the new millennium, basically tore it up in the Texas territories and their father's promotion station in Amarillo, going as far as to Shohei Baba's All Japan Pro Wrestling, where they had classic tag feuds with the duo of the original Sheik and Abdullah the Butcher. So even both of the brothers winning the NWA World's Heavyweight title. Terry actually holding it from 1975 to 1977. The Funks would then make a brief stint in the WWE in the 1980s, even winning the tag titles at one point, if I remember correctly. Before Dory left to go back to the NWA, Terry following soon after, having feuds with Ric Flair over the NWA title in the late 80s. Hang on a second, I got a bug to squash. Stupid ass pantry mods. Anyway, in the 90s, Terry would also go into ECW and hold their title for a brief stint. Then make a brief pop up in the WWE at the end of that year as Chainsaw Charlie, team up with Mick Foley, have a 1-day stint with the tag titles, and then head back to ECW near the end of that year, in the summer of that year, and bounce around between ECW and WCW from 99 to 2000. He also had a brief pop up in NWA TNA in the early to mid 2000s. In 2009, he and Dory were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. But by 2017, age and mental issues started to catch up with Terry. And by 2019, he was admitted into hospice care as his daughters stated he had come down with dementia. I mean, he had always said he was middle aged and crazy. He was always labeled as being middle aged and crazy, and it took a toll on his brain. He'd also been dealing with multiple other ailments brought on by the years of the hardcore wrestling style. And Terry passed away yesterday. Bray Wyatt, on the other hand, was born Windham Rotunda. Don't If you're not familiar with the Rotunda name, check his father, Mike Rotunda, or as he was known in his heyday in the 90s as Erwin R. Shyster, IRS, the tax collector or the WWE, and was the tag partner of Ted DiBiase, with whom he won 3 WWE tag titles from 1992 to 1993, until DiBiase retired due to a neck injury. Irwin would stay around up until around 1995 and then would be released. He would retire shortly thereafter, training his sons, Wyndham and Bo, the latter of whom you would know as Bo Dallas, one of the dumbest gimmicks, to get in the business. The brothers would then make their way to WWE's developmental at the time, Florida Championship Wrestling, before Wyndham got the call up to be on the original NXT iteration for its second season under the moniker Husky Harris, a character who was, as he put himself, a Sherman tank with an army tank with a Ferrari engine, stocky and big, but very quick. He would end up allying himself with the new Nexus when he got the call up to the main roster. And he was basically reduced to a joke. Sure, he had a tag title stint, albeit briefly. He was Michael McGillicuddy, later renamed Curtis Axel, but it didn't pan out. So he was sent back down to developmental to reinvent his character. Fast forward to mid to late summer of 2013. He would come back as the creepy, swampy cult leader, Bray Wyatt, allying himself with Eric Rowan, real name Joseph Charles Roode, no relation to Rick Rude or Robert Roode, spelled with 2 U's, who had signed a contract with the company in 2011 under the name Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper, Jonathan Huber, aka Mr. Brody Lee, the late Mr. Brody Lee, who had signed with the company in 2012. Using a lantern to light the way into the dark arena with the aid of the cell phone lights, which he called his fireflies, he would always enhance the crowd with the end of his promos with one little quote: "Follow the buzzards." And he was a villain that people were captivated by from 2013 to 2018. It would lead the stable to a run as tag champions, and Bray even becoming the WWE champion for about 6 weeks in 2017. Many people drew comparisons to Robert De Niro's portrayal of Max Candy from Cape Fear and a former wrestler, Waylon Mercy. He would go on a hiatus in 2018 after having a brief tag team reign with Matt Hardy. I don't know what was the deal with that tag title run. But in 2019, he returned to change character, a Jekyll Hyde case. One half a Mr. Rogers knockoff called the host of the Firefly Funhouse. The other, a demonic entity known as the Fiend. This would lead him to being praised from among the many nominees for Best Gimmick in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, an award he actually won in 2013 and 2019. And two reigns as the Universal Champion. Once just before the pandemic and a brief week-long stint. I don't even know why they gave him only a week during the Thunderdome era of pandemic wrestling in the WWE. Dave Meltzer even said, but the character work did come with a trade-off. The matches weren't all that great. They were clunky, according to Dave Meltzer. While genius with the character, not so great with the wrestling. So much so that readers of WON recognize The Fiend as the worst gimmick of 2020. Bray survived. Sadly, it was announced that in February of 2023, Bray had been dealing with a life-threatening illness and was nearing his return before suddenly passing. He is survived by his ex-wife Samantha, with whom he had two kids before she filed two daughters before she filed a divorce, and his fiance, WWE announcer JoJo, with whom they had a son and a daughter. He had one of the greatest hardcore wrestlers and one of the best character, and the man who was behind one of the best characters in all of wrestling go within a 24-hour span. Damn it! And this is more so for Bray than it is for Funk. Because I knew when I read that Funk had been diagnosed with dementia, I was more at peace with that, knowing it was a matter of time before it would happen. Why Bray? I thought we were done with this bullshit this year. After Jay Briscoe, after Jerry Jarrett, after Lenny Poffo, after Sheiky Baby, and after Funk. I thought we were done with this. Oh, and Bushwhacker Butch. I forgot about him. Why does this keep happening? Well, After this little tirade, I don't have a damn thing left to say. Other than leave a comment, smash a like, sub to the channel. This is Mets2128 signing out. And until next time, follow the buzzards.
Hot corners. I know just the guy to talk to.
Give me a second.
Say their name. Catch a fly.